are so many storybooks on superheroes and fantasy characters in the languages my friends and I know and speak. Do we have such fairy tales and fantasy characters in Sanskrit too? Or is it all only shlokas?
There are so many fantasies and so many fables in Sanskrit. Most of the fables and fantasies of the world today owe their origins to Sanskrit fantasies and fables. See, Sanskrit is a tradition, it has the tradition of being a vehicle for reporting a lot many areas of research and literature. So it's not just shlokas. So Sanskrit language had all these things. And the main thing is we don't know any of those things. They're not read it, they're not been taught all these things. And if you're looking specifically, Manav, at fables and fairy tales, there are a lot of them in Sanskrit. For example, there's something called the Panchatantra. Fairy tales is a well-known genre of literature in Sanskrit. And most of these didactic stories with high moralistic ending, they have the things where people talk of how to be good people. The Panchatantra, as I said, is one of them. And it's written in prose, not in shlokas. They may have had their origins in Buddhist Jataka tales, or the Jataka tales may have had their origins in the Panchatantra. We don't know which came first, either the Jataka or the Panchatantra. Many of these fables were in circulation at the start of the classical period, the Buddhist period, etc. The Panchatantra has been translated and reworked to many languages. So, the fables and fairy tales in Persia, in Arabia, Greek, Hebrew, Latin, German, English, were all influenced by this Panchatantra. You heard of La Fontaine, the great French writer of fables. He credited a large amount of his work to an Indian sage called Pilpay. And he's one of the interpreters of Panchatantra. Panchatantra also had a great influence on Aesop, the great writer of fables, Aesop's fables. So Indian fables are well known. And they are also taken to the East. There are many fables in China and Far East, which are actually influenced by Indian fable. And the same Panchatantra was recast by a guy called Somadeva as a set of poems, shlokas, called Katha Sarita Sagara. And there's a guy called Narayana who wrote another set of stories based on the Panchatantra called Hidobadesha, which is an even easier read than Panchatantra. Remember, these are all prose works. Except Katha Sarita Sagara, these are all prose works. Vikram and Vedha is originally from Sanskrit. And about King Vikramaditya, there are two sets of stories. One is Vikram and Vedha. The other is what's called, some 32 steps or something. Each step you ascend one step each, and you hear a story from the little thing, little statue near that step. Right? So there are two sets of stories about Vikramaditya. Right? So it's full of fables and fairy tales, and not just shlokas. And in fact, my upcoming book actually talks of some of the literature available in Sanskrit.